I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
One of the dock workers that is on the port strike has come out and stated that they're not only striking because of being overworked and underpaid, but because they're sick and tired of hearing coming in the port screaming on cargo containers.
I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes.
The what?
All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes.
Okay.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Ellen DeGeneres is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her name appears in the broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals.
What if the person the world trusted most was actually the one keeping the darkest secrets? For over 20 years, Ellen DeGeneres was the face of kindness in America. She was the woman who made the whole world dance, the host who gave away millions in cars and cash, and the safe celebrity that every parent felt comfortable letting their children around. But today, that image isn't just tarnished, it's completely shattered. The Be Kind signs have been taken down, the massive Montecito mansions have been sold off at a frantic pace, and Ellen herself has reportedly fled the United States for a remote, quiet corner of the English countryside. She didn't just go for a holiday. Reports indicate she's gone for good, telling her inner circle that she is never coming back to American soil. But the question everyone is asking is she done with the country, or is she running from what is about to be unsealed in a court of law?
Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images.
The timing of this great escape is more than just a little suspicious. It aligns perfectly with the massive multi-agency investigation into Sean Diddy Combs and the long-awaited final release of the most sensitive Epstein files. For years, these were treated as two separate scandals, one involving a hip-hop mogul and the other a mysterious financier. But as the legal heat turns up, a bridge is beginning to form between these two worlds. And sitting right in the middle of that bridge, acting as the connector, is a name no one expected to see in this context. People are no longer just calling her a host, they're calling her a handler, a woman who used her massive public platform and her approachable brand to manage, move, and silence people within a network that is far darker than anyone dared to imagine. But to understand how we got here, we have to look back at the moment the shield was first forged.
Ellen DeGeneres is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her name appears in the broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals.
To understand the Ellen of today, you have to look at the Ellen of 2003. Before the talk show, she was a comedian whose career had hit a massive roadblock. When she launched the Ellen DeGeneres show, it wasn't just a career comeback. It was a total tactical rebrand. She moved away from edgy comedy and pivoted into the kindness queen. This specific timing is what has researchers and industry insiders looking closer. The mid-2000s was the exact period when Diddy's inner circle was expanding its reach into the highest levels of Hollywood and political power. By positioning herself as the most trusted person on television, Ellen created the ultimate public shield. In elite circles, the most valuable asset isn't a bodyguard. It's a safe harbor. If a young artist or a vulnerable minor is seen entering a room with a high-profile kindness advocate, no red flags are raised. Parents don't worry, the media doesn't investigate, and the public remains blissfully unaware. This brand allowed her to vet every rising star in the industry for 20 years. She wasn't just interviewing them. She was assessing them. Those who have studied how handlers operate in these high-level networks point out that the approachable mentor is the most effective role for moving assets between powerful people. For 2 decades, Ellen was the gatekeeper of who was in and who was out, and as we're seeing now, that access might have come with a very dark price.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes.
The what?
All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes.
Okay.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
In January 2025, the Department of Justice finally began the process that the global elite had been dreading for years. The final unredacted unsealing of evidence related to the Epstein network. We are talking about over 3 million pages of data, emails, flight logs, private video recordings from multiple properties, and high-level interview transcripts that have been buried in the dark. The world expected a simple list of names, but what surfaced was much more complex. While thousands of pages remained blacked out to protect ongoing investigations, a broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals began to circulate through legal circles. And there, tucked away in the cross-references and meeting logs, was Ellen DeGeneres. Simply having your name in a document doesn't automatically mean a crime was committed, but the context of her inclusion is what is raising eyebrows. Her name didn't just appear in a vacuum. It appeared in sections of the files dedicated to logistics and introductions. This is where the term handler started to move from internet theory to a serious point of discussion. The mainstream media tried to bury this by focusing on the most absurd, fake claims they could find, stories about vampires and underground bunkers that were easy to debunk. By debunking the crazy stuff, they made the real connections look like conspiracy theories too. But while the public was distracted by the fake stories, the legal reality was much more grounded. Ellen was being linked to the same circles that moved people between Epstein's private islands and Diddy's high-stakes freak-off events.
Most political leaders don't come out of a background of finance. Most political leaders come out of a background of being popular. So in some of the countries, in some of the African countries, for example, they might have been a military person. They were a general. Or in our country, they would have been an actor. The knowledge of money they don't have an expertise, they have no degrees in finance. They really, and this is one of the major problems. So many world leaders who don't really have a financial underpinning make fundamental errors when it comes to money on a country or institutional level. Many of them were just good at what they did in terms of politics. Remember, world leaders are politicians.
The most chilling piece of this puzzle involves a young girl named Ava Baroni-Combs. In 2020, during the height of the global lockdown, Diddy did something that felt scripted from the start. He hopped on an Instagram Live and introduced a young white girl as his newly adopted daughter. There was no prior announcement, no legal paperwork ever surfaced in public records, and no clear origin story. He just dropped her on camera and expected the world to accept it as a heartwarming act of charity. But the clip itself tells a very different story. When Ava starts speaking, it doesn't feel like a child talking to her father. She starts reciting her zodiac sign, saying she's a Scorpio, almost as if she's reading from a talent profile or a dating app bio. Diddy immediately cuts her off, corrects her last name to Combs, and redirects the narrative with a visible level of tension. It wasn't a family moment. It was a programmed interaction. But the real mystery started when people looked at the archives. Despite Diddy claiming she was a new addition to the family in 2020, photos from as far back as 2017 show Ava embedded in his family events. She was there for years, younger and hidden. Why the fake timeline? And more importantly, where is she now? Almost immediately after that 2020 live stream, Ava was completely scrubbed from the internet. No more posts, no more family photos, no public appearances. She effectively vanished until her name resurfaced in the most haunting way possible, tied to a leaked call from a federal holding cell.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava Baroni-Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron. Everybody that's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent.
To understand what might have happened to Ava, you have to look at the pattern Diddy established with other young stars, a pattern that many believe Ellen helped facilitate. We've all heard the stories of Puffy's Flavor Camp, but we didn't want to see the darkness behind them. Usher lived with Diddy when he was just 13 years old, and he has since admitted that he saw things that made him uncomfortable, and that he would hell no ever let his own children near that environment. Then there is the infamous Justin Bieber footage, where Diddy tells the camera he has custody of a 15-year-old Bieber for 48 hours. What happens in those 48-hour windows? Industry insiders have whispered for years about the blackout, short periods where young stars are taken to isolated locations, stripped of their phones, and mentored by powerful figures. These are controlled environments where the goal is total compliance. If a child is going to be managed in this way, you need a handler who can bridge the gap between the music world and the safe world of daytime TV. Researchers are now looking at how many of these young stars were sent to Ellen's show immediately after these mentorship periods. It was a cycle. Diddy would train them, and Ellen would verify them to the public, making sure the world saw a smiling, happy face instead of a traumatized child. This system of verification is what kept the operation running for decades.
And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
The dad now, would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So yeah, and we gonna go full crazy.
While Diddy was under federal investigation, a phone call was intercepted that changed everything. To a casual listener, it sounded like a man giving instructions about cleaning up after a massive party. He was talking about pizza boxes, plastic, and recycling. But to federal investigators, these weren't instructions about lunch. They were coded orders to destroy digital evidence. In the world of high-level surveillance, pizza boxes is often a term used for slimline servers or hard drive arrays. Recycling and getting rid of the plastic were commands to wipe the drives and physically destroy the hardware before the feds could execute their search warrants. The rumor currently shaking the industry is that Ava Baroni-Combs was the one who leaked that call. She was the one close enough to hear the truth, trusted enough to be in the room, and perhaps finally brave enough to realize that the father who adopted her was actually her captor. But if she did leak that call, she would have known her time was up. This is where the handler comes back into the picture. In elite trafficking operations, when an asset becomes a liability, they are moved. They aren't just let go. They are transferred to a new location, often under the guise of going to school or moving away for privacy. If Ellen was the one managing Ava's public image, she would be the one responsible for making sure she disappeared without a trace. And that is exactly what happened.
I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
You might ask why someone as rich and famous as Ellen DeGeneres would ever get involved in something so dark. The answer is simple: power and protection. In Hollywood, the people at the very top aren't just celebrities. They are part of a protected class. By acting as a handler for people like Diddy and Epstein, Ellen would have secured her own spot at the table. She became the person who knew where the bodies were buried, which made her untouchable, until now. A handler's job is to manufacture trust. If a young girl is seen entering a private jet with a scary-looking man in a suit, people notice. But if that same girl is seen backstage at the Ellen show, being hugged by the most lovable woman in America, no one says a word. Ellen provided the public shield that these networks needed to operate in plain sight. She was in rooms with world leaders and billionaires, acting as the friendly face of a system that was built on the exploitation of the vulnerable. She used her show to vet talent, her brand to silence victims, and her influence to make sure that anyone who tried to speak up was labeled as crazy or toxic.
One of the dock workers that is on the port strike has come out and stated that they're not only striking because of being overworked and underpaid, but because they're sick and tired of hearing coming in the port screaming on cargo containers.
I don't think the workers in the pork strike were wanting more money because of the work that they were doing. I think they wanted more hush money to keep them quiet about what they were bringing into the ports. Diddy's house is on Star Island, which is right next to the Miami port.
The fact that Ellen has chosen the Cotswolds in England as her place of retirement is a detail that cannot be overlooked. This isn't just a pretty village. It is a known black hole for prying eyes. The Cotswolds is home to some of the most powerful and secretive estates in the UK, often referred to as the Soho farmhouse crowd. It is a place where the elite go when they need to disappear, while still maintaining a life of extreme luxury. More importantly, it is a region where privacy laws are notoriously strict, and private security forces are more common than police. Relocating there right as the Epstein files were being unsealed, and the Diddy investigation was turning into a federal racketeering case is a loud statement. She sold her Montecito properties, the same ones where she reportedly hosted private retreats for young talent, and moved her entire life across the ocean. In the industry, this is known as ghosting the jurisdiction. By leaving the US, she makes it significantly harder for investigators to call her in for questioning or for survivors to serve her with legal papers. She is betting on the fact that she can wait out the storm in a country that values the privacy of the rich above all else. But as the names in the files become public, even the hills of England might not be far enough.
The internet is looking for Ellen DeGeneres, but I'm gonna tell you right now, she probably done left the damn country because she knows she's on that damn Epstein list. As Ellen DeGeneres page, former TV show host, her whole page is flooded with comments saying she eats this and she loves pizza parties. The harassment that she is getting on her page is beyond, and people is looking for her to be arrested and get arrested. But I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of these celebs are fleeing. A lot of these celebs are disappearing because the time has come where everything is getting ready to expose, and they have been used as pawns and puppets. Satan has no use of them. He used them to do their dirty work, to do his dirty work, and now he has no use of them, and he doesn't care what happened to them. This is bad. I don't wish no bad upon no celebs or anybody. Best thing they could do is pray. They have been played and used, and their time has come. It's fallen.
Perhaps the most visceral evidence of this network comes not from Hollywood, but from the Miami docks. Near Diddy's Star Island property, workers have started coming forward with accounts that sound like something out of a nightmare. During the recent port strikes, some workers revealed that their walk-off wasn't just about wages. It was about what they were seeing and hearing in the cargo containers moving through private shipping routes. They reported hearing the screams of children coming from containers that were supposedly carrying high-end furniture or art destined for elite estates. These containers were allegedly bypassing standard customs checks, moving through priority channels that only the ultra-wealthy have access to. If Diddy's network was using shipping routes to move people, it explains why the system remained hidden for so long. You don't need a private plane if you have a private dock. And if Ellen was acting as the connector, her job would have been to manage the arrivals on the other end. She was the one who could integrate these new faces into Hollywood society, giving them fake backstories like a sudden adoption to explain their presence. The workers at the docks refused the hush money because they realized they were part of a machine that was destroying lives. And that machine is now being dismantled piece by piece.
And when you flood spaces with potentially fake claims about cannibalism and vampires, you actually make it easier for the people who have real things to hide. Because now anyone who brings up the Epstein files may get lumped in with the conspiracy crowd. That's how disinformation works.
At a certain point, you have to stop calling it a coincidence and start calling it a pattern. A name in the Epstein index. A fake adoption story that falls apart under scrutiny. A sudden flight from the country at the exact moment the legal heat becomes unbearable. A leaked jail call using code for evidence destruction. Dock workers reporting horrors in the night. Survivors like Ollie Carter describing a system of handlers that matches Ellen's profile perfectly. When you put all these pieces together, the picture that emerges is one of a vast, interconnected system of control. Ellen DeGeneres spent 20 years telling us to be kind to one another. But it seems the kindness was only a mask. Behind the dancing and the jokes was a woman who may have been one of the primary architects of silence in an industry built on secrets. As more names are unsealed and more victims find the courage to speak, the people who thought they were untouchable are realizing that the world is a very small place when the truth finally catches up. Is Ellen just a name in a file, or was she the one making sure the system stayed hidden? Did Ava leak that call to save herself, or to take down the woman who managed her disappearance?
She described being used as a party fower, literally placed on tables at private events for powerful people to choose from.
I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set
I set you
on a table. Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them, and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties, they put on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Now, Allie didn't name.
The spotlight is moving from the stage to the shadows. The silence from the Cotswolds is deafening, but in the streets, the whispers are turning into a roar. And that roar is only getting louder. We are witnessing the end of an era. The moment when the public shield finally fails, and the people behind it have nowhere left to hide. The story is far from over, and the truth that's about to come out might be the one thing the world isn't ready to dance to. Think about the faces you see every day on your screen. The people you trust, the people you admire. How well do you really know them? Because in a world of handlers and fixers, the most dangerous person in the room isn't the one holding the weapon. It's the one holding the smile. Keep your eyes open because the next name to drop might be the one that changes everything you thought you knew about the city of dreams. The be kind era is over. The be truthful era has just begun. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think the escape to England was a retirement or a retreat? The world is watching.